place, or you can keep the player in place and move the background. And I
Yes,
decided to
some
go with that second option for one major reason. That's how Flappy Bird did it, and that gave us a masterpiece. So I might as well stick to what works. Okay, I think I might have done something wrong. So apparently, when you move the background instead of the player, the background will eventually move off of the screen. And I mean, who could have seen that coming? Anyway, after getting the background to repeat, I now finally have a working prototype of the game. And I'm gonna be honest, it's a little boring, but I have come up with a genius plan to fix this problem and make the game fun. I added the ability for the player to move. Yeah,
Why is the robot?
I think I might need a new plan. My new plan to make the game more fun is to add the package delivery into the game. Because what's more fun than endlessly delivering packages to ungrateful customers? Just ask for hundreds of happy Amazon workers. My first step in the plan is to make the workers. So I started by making a sprite for the worker and I added them into the game. But you might notice one obvious issue. There are no women.
Why do you put the box on top?
Everything else seems to be functioning perfectly. So I made this sprite for a female worker because I support equality in the workplace. Just thought I should add some representation for the 10% of females watching right now. And now that the workers have been added, step 1 in my plan to make the game fun is complete. Step 2 is to add the package that you'll deliver to the workers. The first thing I did was add an alert above the workers that need a package. And then I made a box that you can throw at those workers. And yeah, the box looks pretty ugly, but that doesn't matter because at least it actually works. Or not. To fix the problem, I added a cooldown to the package throw, and now it actually works. The only problem is that it's still really ugly. So I made a new sprite, but this time I made it slightly 3D, and now it looks great. But updating the package caused me to relapse, and I started making even more art. So I also updated the background by adding some chemicals, and I added a computer on each of the desks. But then I realized that I'm supposed to be making a package, and updating the background is completely unnecessary, even if it does look a lot better. So now that the package delivery is added, the game is definitely more fun. But right now it's time for me to get some sleep. Tomorrow we'll spend some time testing the game and I'll figure out what I need to do next. So I've been playing the game, and I have found one massive issue. It's way too easy. And by way too easy, I mean there was literally no challenge at all. And you also might remember that my original idea for the game involved a little bit of violence, and then if you run into them, they die and explode, which is also missing from the game. So my plan is to combine these two issues and add exploding workers as the main challenge of the game, which might not really make sense, but trust me, okay? I think I know what I'm doing. I started by making the explosion animation, which was pretty easy. The strategy was just red and more red and more red and more red. I also added this fun little detail where the worker's head will fall into the chair and stare at you with their sad, cold, dead eyes. I did this so you feel a little remorse for murdering the innocent office workers, but if I'm gonna be honest, it didn't work because I am having too much fun, which is a little problem because you're not actually supposed to kill the workers, but it is really hard not to. To fix the problem, I made a timer that'll count down every second, and every time you kill one of the workers, it decreases, and if you deliver a package, it increases. So unfortunately, now it's a little bit less fun to murder every single person in the office, but I still have the thirst for blood. And occasionally decapitating office workers doesn't satisfy me. I need more. So I made a new walking sprite for the workers, and now I have a new type of worker to murder as they walk through the office, or glide, or whatever this is. I guess I should probably make a walk animation. Now, in my past, I've made some pretty questionable walk animations. The player walk animation for this game looks pretty good, so I'm sure I can make something pretty decent for the workers. What have I created? I mean, it looks alright, but I'm not too worried about the walk animation. What I'm more focused on is the explosion animation, which is pretty similar to the other explosion animation. It's a lot of red and more red and more red and more red. But the main difference with this one is that the worker's head will fall sideways. Just thought I should add a little bit of variation from the red and more red and more red. So now you can decapitate the workers with your packages and vaporize them by ramming them with your mail cart. I think my bloodlust has definitely been satisfied. And the game is also a lot more challenging now, since you can't just run through the office. You actually need to pay attention to the timer and avoid massacring the workers, as much as I hate to say that. But it's getting late, so I'm gonna go get some sleep, and I should have enough time to finish the game tomorrow. So, I have some bad news. I thought I would have enough time to finish the game today, but what I didn't realize is that I need to submit it before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I actually have less than half a day to finish the game. So I should probably get to work. I started the day by working on the intro for the game, and I really had to think about what would motivate you to run through the office and obliterate anyone who gets in your way. After coming up with a few different ideas, from aliens to secret government agencies, I finally settled on one. Your boss tells you to, which is definitely the scariest one. I spent some time making a background for the boss's office, office. I didn't say I spent a lot of time on it. And I also made an animation where the player will walk up to the boss and then just stand there awkwardly. Now, this is where the boss will tell you to deliver your packages. So the next thing I need to do is make a text box. I made a pretty simple text box sprite, and I made sure to include the boss's bald head in the front, which should instantly tell you that he is the boss. Now, most games have this effect where the text will reveal over time, but the problem is, I don't know how to do that. But lucky for me, I have the power of stealing other people's code, and with just a few clicks, I now have a working text box, and I can make the boss say anything I want. For example, if you don't subscribe right now, I will break into your house and throw packages at your head until you explode. Actually, it tells you to deliver your packages or else you're fired, which isn't very nice, but I think it accurately sets up why the player is willing to murder at your head until you explode. I have a working text box, and I can make the boss say anything I want. For example, if you don't subscribe right now, I will break into your house and throw packages at your head until you explode. Actually, it tells you to deliver your packages or else you're fired, which isn't very nice, but I think it accurately sets up why the player is willing to murder dozens of people just to deliver some packages. And now that I finished the intro, I need to make a cutscene for when you run out of time, because currently, nothing happens. I thought it would be kind of funny if you trip once you run out of time, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But let's be honest, this entire game doesn't make sense. I made